What's up, everyone, and welcome to the
Billionaires Club.
I'm Monique,
I'm Malachi.
I'm Judah.
And I'm Zion.
and we are the members of the Billionaires Club. Welcome back. You are here for episode 3, which is another interview. Our special guest today is Mr. Brian Boyd. He will be joining us a little bit later. As you can see, we aren't representing a business on our shirts or a hat, but today we are representing Apple. So you will see a corny and a very special commercial a little bit later. But right now, let's head into Judah's segment.
Since Biden became president, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ has hit record highs. And a $14,000 stimulus check has been approved, which might help out the stock market. The tip of the day is to have a diverse portfolio so that you can have balance in your stocks. For instance, if I invested in Tesla, which is a tech company, and then invested in Starbucks, if Tesla starts doing bad, I might get more money from Starbucks, which can, I guess, make up for Tesla doing bad. Also, the two stocks that Monique and Zion will be debating about is Tesla and NIO. Tesla was founded in San Carlos in 2003. The founder is Elon Musk. And a fun fact, Elon Musk IQ is 160. And the other, and NIO was founded in 2014 by William Lee, and I hope I'm saying this right, Shanghai. NIO thought that they were going to be bankrupt when they first started, but now they are projected to go up 728% in the next 5 years.
Hey, Judah, what are you drinking?
Apple juice.
Apple juice. Oh, wow. You know what else I love about apples? Apple. Do you know what Apple is?
No, what's Apple?
Apple is a tech company which makes iPhones and computers and iPads.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Really interesting.
All right, everyone. So as you can see, our special guest, Mr. Brian Boyd, is in the house. Okay, so this is our special guest. But before we get into the interview, we have to do the debate segment, which is me and Zion's segment. And so as Judah has already said, we have Tesla and NIO. I will be representing Tesla, and I guess Zion wants me to go first. Yeah. All right, so I'll start. All right, so I don't really know much about these companies. Let me just preface that. But I did look up something, so I'm just going to be stating why I feel that Tesla is a good company. The first reason is because of Elon Musk. So if you don't know who that is, he is the CEO of Tesla. This dude is a genius. From what I was researching, from what I was reading, he is an amazing man who has a brilliant mind, right? He has helped create many other companies, SpaceX, Tesla, PayPal, etc. And so he's just a great CEO and a great businessman overall. I was reading that in the past, Tesla was going through a hard time and was on the brink of death due to a shortage of cash flow. But Elon found ways to keep the company afloat. And for a good company, you have to have a great mind, a great CEO behind it to support it. So Tesla is also a future-focused company. They're not just a company that is just here just to get a whole bunch of profit. They are here to actually make an impact on the world and to make the world a better place. I know that's a cliche, but they are really trying to do that. So they, as you know, they are a car company. They do sell cars, but that is not the main reason why Tesla is. They are a renewable energy source company. Their main focus is the battery. That is what's pushing this company. They don't have to rely on the gas, but they rely on the battery, which is safer for the environment. Another reason why Tesla is so amazing and why they stand out from the crowd is because of the public. The public loves Tesla. They flock to Tesla. Everybody, I mean, I don't even know how many commercials I've seen of Tesla, but I know it's the word of mouth. And word of mouth is great for any business and company, because if you have enough people talking about it, people will obviously flock to them. And Tesla has great word of mouth and great people supporting that company. I don't know much about NIO. They could be essentially the same as Tesla, but Tesla has that word of mouth. They have the people that will flock to Tesla. So yeah, Tesla is a great company. They're safer for the environment. They have a great CEO behind them. And there's no one that's been able to, I guess, be superior over them. So Zion, you can go ahead and say what you have to say.
Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really know cars, but if I were to pick a car, I would pick a car from NIO. Now, Monique just explained, Tesla is definitely a bigger company than NIO. And NIO is in the early stage of their company. They're from China, if you didn't know, and they have just came here, so they're a little new and they're not super popular yet. But I think that NIO is going to become popular over the years. So if you invest in NIO now, you will probably make a lot more money in the future. Just like Amazon, when it first started, if you invested in Amazon, you would be rich right now. So that's one reason you should invest in NIO. Now, NIO is a very futuristic car. It seems like the future to me. Not Tesla. Tesla does not seem like the future to me. NIO does, because they are working on artificial intelligence in their car that can run on the windows, take pictures, stuff like that. And they are trying to do stuff that Tesla doesn't have. So they are two different cars. So they have two different things. Now, I think if you were to pick a car for the future, pick a car that has lots of possibilities and that you are thinking forward in time, you should invest in NIO.
Those were our arguments. We'll let Mr. Brian kind of mull it over as he's in the interview. And so Malachi, this is your thing, so you can go ahead and take it over.
Well, like we said off camera, we wanted to say thank you, Mr. Brian Boyd, for joining us on today so that we can interview you, so you can share all your thoughts and give us all your nuggets that you have regarding the stock market so that we can grow in our knowledge, and for not only us, but the viewers watching as well. So on behalf of everybody, thank you again. But before we get into the interview, some people like us may not know you as much. So if you could share just a little bit about yourself so that we can all get to know you just a little bit.
All right, thank you. Just thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate that. My name is Brian Boyd, as they said. I basically grew up here in Tacoma, graduated from Mount Tahoma High School, went to Green River and then Evergreen State. So I've been here in Tacoma years, graduated back in '91. I actually worked in the nonprofit sector for about 18 years. So I was with World Vision for 13 years, worked for Northwest Leadership Foundation for 5 years prior to that. 2016, I left World Vision and started my own business back. And basically I've been an entrepreneur and running my own business since then. I really started investing about probably 7 years ago. And really, I wish I would have started at your guys' age. So I just want to applaud you guys, first of all, because I think it's amazing what you guys are doing and really trying to get understanding of this at this moment in time, at this age. I started about 5 years ago, just realizing that, you know, I think most of us, especially in the minority community, we're not necessarily taught about financial literacy and investing at an early age. And so most of us work our jobs, or we, you know, run a business, we do something, and, you know, we will be successful and we can do well, but we may never reach a level of financial freedom or be in a place where, you know, we don't have to work. And I think that's really what I learned years ago about investing. It's really a way to try to change your financial position, change your life. So myself, I started about 7 years ago and really started with about $5,000. And just really, at the time, my cousin was actually studying to become a financial planner. So he was studying to get his Series 7 license, and he was kind of learning all the things you need to know about investing. And at that time, him and me were very close. He was here. So I was actually learning a lot of what he was learning. And so that really piqued my interest. And then I started investing at that point, and have done really, really well over the last 6 or 7 years. And so one of the things that I think is really important is that people understand that anyone can be an investor, and it isn't based on how much money you have. You can start with $5,000 as I did. You can start with $1,000. You can start with a couple $100. The dollar amount isn't really what matters. What really matters is getting an understanding and making this a way of life. One of my friends who's a CPA, this story I think is really symbolic of where I think we need to move to as people. So he does my taxes. And so years ago when I started investing, he started seeing, oh, I'm making money. I'm doing pretty good as an investor. And so we started talking about investing, and I said, hey, when did you start investing? And he said he's been investing since he was basically 6 years old. And I was like, really? How did that happen? So come to find out, his parents, his dad in particular, basically said to him, for your birthday, I can give you $100, or I can give you $500 if you invested in a company. And so he decided he wanted to start investing. I think he was 8 years old, I want to say. And so at that time, he invested in a company called Starbucks. And at that time, Starbucks was literally still pennies on the dollar. And he started at 8. Over the years, he kept investing. Each year on his birthday, he would put more money into Starbucks. Basically, by the time he graduated high school, he had enough money to pay for 4 years of college and bought a brand new car. And so I was like, that's what I want to teach my kids. That's what I want my kids to understand and know, so that it becomes, like I said, a way of life. It's not just an afterthought or something that we do when we get old, but it's something that we have in the forefront of our mind on a continual basis. And so for me, that's really been my journey, and now trying to teach my kids the same thing, model the same thing for my kids, and just trying to spread that to friends and family and everybody who will listen. One of my favorite investors is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett didn't really start, and he's actually he is the most successful investor of our time, multi-billionaire. He didn't start investing until he was 50. So it's never too late to start, and you're never too young to start in the case of the 8-year-old. So I now just you really think about things differently when you start investing, when you are using products, services, whenever you're doing things in your daily life, you start thinking about, well, who makes this? Is this a company that's publicly traded? Is this something I can invest in? One of the things Warren Buffett always says, invest in things you know and understand, right? So if you use an iPhone, if you've got a iPad, if you love Apple products, why not invest in that company? You're already being a consumer and you're buying their products and services. If you drink Starbucks every day, why not invest in Starbucks? And so on. That's the mind state I hope people can start adopting and taking on. I tell people the easiest way to get started investing is to take a small amount of money. Right now, we're in the pandemic. Everyone, I think, most everyone is going to get a stimulus check, right? $600, $1,200, maybe $2,000. Wouldn't that be great if every single person took that stimulus check and used it as a way to start investing? Open up a separate bank account, put that money in that account, link it to Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, any kind of trading platform. And it's pretty much that simple. You can start investing. Now, you got to do research, obviously, like these guys did on these two companies. You need to look at look at the history of the company, look at kind of the overall picture, look at the financials. There's things obviously that you want to look at and do, but the baseline is to really look at things that are successful, things that are making a difference, things that a lot of people love or are using. That's pretty much a great way to kind of start. Also, you guys talked about Tesla, and just to kind of link to that story, Tesla was actually one of the stocks that I made my first big chunk of money off of. Tesla, as Zion mentioned, Elon Musk heads that company. They're a great company. They actually, years back when they were first starting, they were around $40 when they came out as a company, when they did their initial public offering. What happened, they actually started getting traction. They're stocking up to about $280. Then they had a significant incident happen. They had 3 different cars that got into accidents, and basically the batteries on those cars caught on fire. So when that happened, their stock went from $280 down to $140. Literally, it cut in half within a matter of, about a month or 2 months. So at that point, when the stock cut in half, I actually decided to buy $10,000 worth of that stock. They did several investigations. The traffic administration investigated, and basically they cleared Tesla of any wrongdoing. They said the batteries were safe. And so their stock went from 140 to 180 to 200 and back up to 280. And so within a period of about 6 months, I sold that stock at 280 and basically doubled my money. That's one example of how investing can grow your wealth. It's a great tool. It's something that doesn't require physical work. It does require research and all that, and it doesn't require a lot of time. And so most people are working jobs, most people are in school, they're doing other things. Investing is something that you can actually make money while you're sleeping. And so I'm a big advocate for investing, and just want to, continue to encourage people to start moving in that direction.
Well, thank you for all of that. So many great nuggets that you've given us and your story of investing. We really do appreciate it. I was going to ask a question, but you answered it in that. So I was like, I'm not going to ask that because you already answered it. But I would say my last question, since it's already been, all of them been answered, would be if you could walk away or leave one tip for youth like us that are trying to get into investing, what would the tip be?
Gosh, one tip for young people. Start now. I mean, that a lot of people are scared, I think, of the stock market, investing. They don't think they know enough. They don't think they understand enough. But honestly, it's not as complicated as people may make it seem. The basic premise is you want to buy low and you want to sell high. Another way that Warren Buffett said it, he said, buy fear and sell hope. And that's kind of the premise that I use for investing. So Tesla was a good example of that, right? When the batteries caught on fire, everybody was like, oh, the cars they're unsafe. Their company's going to go out of business, right? And everybody started selling the stock and the price dropped. And so at that point, I had done enough research to understand that Tesla wasn't going to go out of business and that this actually was a good investment. And so I bought fear and then I waited until it rebounded and then I sold it. Sell hope. That's the premise that a lot of times I've had some of my best gains on stocks that have been in that situation. So yeah, I would just encourage young people to start now. And if you don't know kind of how to get started, you know, there's a lot of research and information online now. It's so much easier now to invest than it was 20 years ago. You don't need a stockbroker. All you need is a phone. Now, if you're underage, you need parent consent and that stuff as well. Let me say that. But your parents could help you get started. A family member, someone you trust, anyone could help you get started if you need some direction and guidance.
Thank you. Yes, I think it's important, especially for youth, to start now. And I'm appreciative for all the people that have been teaching me stocks, and especially our previous interviewee. We call him Uncle C. He got us into the stock market at such an early age, so we do appreciate, you know, that tip. And I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of young kids, youth that are watching this video as well, will appreciate that tip. Start now, because I mean, you're gonna regret being like starting at 40 and realizing what you could have done, you know, at like 10 or like 12, 13, 14, 15, and starting that at that age. So yes, thank you for that tip. Thank you for your story. We do appreciate it. I'm gonna hand it off back to Monique so that we can see what's going to go down with this debate that they had on earlier. So yeah, Monique.
All right. So like we said, like Mac, I said, thank you for joining us. There's so many things that we will take from this interview. And so before you leave, though, the people want a winner. And so just kind of give us your thought process on it. Let us down easy. Let Zion down easy. Let me down easy. More me. Okay. But just, just give us your thoughts and who's the overall winner.
Okay. So I'll answer this in two ways. So I'll talk about kind of the debate. So I think in terms of the debate, Zion, I feel you won the debate. You gave a little bit more insight into the company and the background, and, you know, kind of built a case for why you would invest in this company. I tell people all the time, if you get to a point where you're going to invest in a company, you should be able to communicate it and articulate that and make a clear case for anybody who hears you why you would invest in that company. And so I think you did a great job on that. Now, with that said, Tesla, as I shared in my story, I've actually owned Tesla at multiple points over years. I've actually made some nice gains on Tesla. So I'm a big fan of Tesla, Elon Musk. The thing I will say, Tesla has ran up. If you look at the stock price now, it's over $800, I believe. So it's had I think Tesla right now for the year is up like 700% or something, something crazy. It has ran up unbelievably, which means that the amount of revenue and amount of revenue they need to generate to basically justify their valuation, the current stock price. Tesla is kind of trading on earnings for 10 years down the road. Let me say that. So I think Tesla right now is overvalued. And I love Tesla. I believe in Tesla, but I think their price is ridiculous and insane. And so once again, I would not buy Tesla personally right now because it's too high, right? You want to buy low and you want to sell high. So I think it's gone through the moon and through the roof. It's too high. NIO, on the other hand, I do believe is the better buy because it still is at a reasonable price based on their revenue and earnings. And I think the growth potential for NIO is, in the short term, is significant. Now, both of these companies, honestly, in the long term, should do very well. You've got so many people right now. I think the EV market is maybe 1% of all automobiles on the road, 1 or 3%. It's a low number. So the amount of potential that these companies have is insane. They have so much room to run. And so long-term, Tesla will be a great investment. I would wait for the price to come down. In the near term, I think NIO would be the better bet in terms of having more profitability in the short run. So that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you. I'm on, well, this officially makes me on a losing streak. The score is now 2-1 Zion with the win from Starbucks last week. But thank you again, Mr. Brian, for joining us. We thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and to give us some wisdom. Not only the kids who will be watching this, but us four. There are things that you said that we will be taking and applying to our lives. So thank you. If you want to leave, you can go ahead and leave so we can kind of wrap it up. But once again, we just want to say thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys, and keep setting a great example. You guys are amazing. I want my kids to be like you. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
as you can see, it is just us four, which means we are wrapping up this week's episode. Like we said in the interview, we want to give a special shout out to Mr. Brian for joining us. We hope you guys got something from it. We hope you enjoyed it. And so Malachi, before we end, we have to go over to your segment. So excited.
Yeah, thank you for the fakeness of the energy. Love it. But anyway, I'm gonna say my joke and then get at you guys here. So I don't know if you guys know about this company. It's called Northern Tissue. It's crazy. But one time, Northern Tissue, they hit a new bottom in the stock market, and it caused a whole bunch of investors to be wiped clean. So it was really crazy. And yeah, so back to you, Bob.
Okay. All right. So I guess that wraps it up for another episode. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, all of those things. Make sure you tell a friend, and of course, email us if you know anyone that would like to be interviewed by us. But that is it. We will see you in the next episode.